ॐ श्री गणेशाय नमः। ॐ श्री सरस्वत्यै नमः। ॐ श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ नमः शिवाय 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 ॐ नमः शिवाय। हर नमः पार्वतीपतये हर हर महादेव शंभो शंकर। बोलिए श्री सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय। सर्ववेदांत सिद्धांत गोचरं तमगोचरं गोविन्दं परमानन्दं सद्गुरुं प्रणतोऽस्म्यहम् सद्गुरुं प्रणतोऽस्म्यहम्। Sense objects, Vishayas, they are very powerful. They are more dangerous than poison also. It is said, Krishna Sarpad Api. Because the person will be killed by the poison when that person will have it, when he will drink it. But when it comes to the Vishayas, they are having such kind of power. Just by perceiving them, they will create hesitations in the mind of the person, of the perceiver. And not only that, sometimes just by seeing them, just by listening something, they will create strong impressions in the mind of the perceiver. Afterwards, they will create such kind of havoc in the person's life. That person, he may become addicted to so many kinds of things. He may become slaves to the sense objects, and finally Vishayas, they will become the cause of death of that person also. We have seen with so many kinds of examples also how different kinds of creatures, because of their weaknesses, how they will be killed by the senses, sense organs. So the seeker of truth, he has to be very alert, and when he is perceiving sense objects, he has to take care those things are going to be helpful for his sadhana or not. That's why in our scriptures, when we will be chanting Shanti mantra, it is said, Bhadram karnebhi shrunuyama devaah Bhadram pashyemakshabhiryajitra. Praying devatas and Bhagwan, oh Bhagwan, may we listen auspicious kinds of things, sounds. May we see auspicious kinds of drishya, rupas, forms, so that all kinds of sattvic things will be perceived by the seeker. Then that person will be able to come out from all kinds of negativities, and he will never become slave to the sense objects. It is said, one who is completely able to come out from the clutches of the bondages of sense objects, that person alone will be fit to attain moksha. In sloka number 78, yesterday we have seen. Let us stand from from sloka number 77. दोषेण तीव्रो विषयः कृष्णसर्पविषादपि विषं निहन्ति भोक्तारं द्रष्टारं चक्षुषाप्ययम्. Next sloka. विषयाशा महापाशा यो विमुक्तः सुदुस्त्यजात् स एव कल्पते मुक्त्यै नान्यषट्शास्त्रवेद्यपि सह एव कल्पते मुक्त्यै. That person alone is deserved to get liberation, to attain liberation, one who could come out from all kinds of ropes of attachments. Those ropes of attachments are also very difficult to cut asunder. Nanyaha, na anyaha, not by any other kinds of means. Even that person, Shet Shastra Pit Api, even that person well versed in 6 schools of philosophy, but unless he will be having complete detachment from sense objects, he cannot attain moksha. Even one single thought in the mind, one single attachment also will lead to the next birth. That's why the person should have complete detachment, complete vairagya is required to attain moksha. Next sloka. Yesterday we have chanted. Once again, let us chant together. Sloka number 79. Apata vairagyavato mumuksho bhavabdiparam pratiyatu mudyetan आशाग्रहो मज्जयतेऽन्तराले निगृह्य कण्ठे विनिवर्त्य वेगात्. आपात vairagyavataha. Apata means appearance, just apparent. Means externally it is as though it is there appearing, but in fact it is not true, it is not sincere, it is not there. So apata means just appearance. Apata vairagyavataha, those who are having just apparent kind of dispassion, detachment. Mumukshun, means those who wants to get liberation. Bhavabdi para, they also mumukshus, but they want to get liberation, but when it comes to the vairagya level, that vairagya apparently it's there, in fact it's not in deep. Sincerely that person will not be having that vairagya. Then what will happen to such kind of person? What will happen to such kind of mumukshus? Bhava abdi param. Bhava abdi param. Bhava means to become. Abdi means ocean. Param, to reach another shore. Bhava abdi param, to the other shore of the ocean of samsara, ocean of change. If person is having just apparent detachment and if he wants to cross over the ocean of samsara, pratiyatum udyatan, pratiyatum means to go towards, udyatan, those who have undertaken such kind of work, such kind of action, then what will happen? Because of lack of complete detachment, on the way only, middle of the way only. Ashagraha, ashagraha. Grahaha means crocodile, shark in the ocean. Asha means desire, hope. Ashagraha, the crocodile of desire, will be opening its mouth widely and will be waiting. For whom? For the people, for the men, those who did not have complete vairagya. What it does? Ashagraha majjayate antarale. Majjayate means drowns them. Antarale in the middle of the path. Antarala, halfway only, not yet reached another shore of the samsara. Nigruhya kante. Nigruhya means catching. Nigruhya kante, having caught the throat of people, of their throats. Kante, vinivartya vegat. Vegat means with so much power. Vega means suddenly. Even that person cannot understand what is happening also. It happens like that, even though the person is having desire to get moksha, when suddenly his mind distracted by any kind of attachment and having any other desire, then the desire is like crocodile, shark. Immediately it will catch that throat of the person. Here crocodile means it's a desire. Ashagraho majjayate antarale nigruhya kante vinivartya. Vinivartya means turning suddenly. Here Shankaracharyaji is giving example when person wants to cross the ocean, when he is trying his level best, but if he is not alert enough, what will happen? Always there will be difficulties in that path, and that crocodile or shark, that shark will catch the throat of that person, and sometimes it will swallow also. Big sharks will be there. They will, they will swallow not only people, the entire ship also can be swallowed by them. Such kind of powerful creatures are there in the ocean. When it comes to Siddhanta principle, for the person, one who is having apata vairagya, we have to understand this word. What is apata vairagya? The person will be thinking, I'm having vairagya. I don't have attachment with anything. But when it comes to the experience of that enjoyment, he cannot control. It means the person is there, he is very much attached to sweets. Again, we have taken that example. And he thought, nowadays I gave up that one. I don't have attachment to eat nothing. I can be happy without eating all those things also. But when he attended one party, that time in that function they were serving all kinds of variety kinds of sweets, and in that also in that menu it's his favorite kind of sweets also were served. When he saw them, he forgot completely what he has to control his tongue. Nowadays, he is not taking sweets. He has to be alert. And he forgot completely. He left a particular kind of sweet in Kashi also. And when he saw that, it's okay, it's after eating, if it is required, I will take insulin. What is there? Insulin. So, having those sweets. Apata vairagya means apparent kind of vairagya, so-called vairagya we can say. Externally, the person seems to be given up everything, but inside the mind will be having clinging attachment towards them. Even in Bhajagovindam also, Adi Shankaracharyaji described what is only apparent kind of so-called kind of vairagya. That person might have left everything, objects and homes, everything, and that person will be sitting under a tree, and that person will not be having any kind of comforts, even to cover his body, to protect from what you call in winter season. He doesn't have any kind of bed sheet also, even in summer, suffering a lot, all kinds of things externally when we see him, and he is eating food only in his arms, even not having begging bowl also. When we see such kind of person, we will be having the thought that a Vairagya Mahapurusha, Vairagya Shiromani, he left everything, it's leading such kind of life. But if that person doesn't give up inside the desire for sense enjoyment, sense objects, then externally whatever may be appearing, all those things are not helpful for that person to attain his goal, to attain liberation. And it is said sometimes the person will be having vairagya because of few reasons. In our life also, sometimes we feel when we will be facing or we will be undergoing difficult kind of situation in our life, difficult phase in our life, sometimes we feel, it's why all these things, better we give up everything and we will lead the path of we will lead the life of renunciation, like that. Such kind of thoughts may arise. One is called what you call prasuti vairagya. Prasuti vairagya, when lady mother, when she'll be giving birth to the child, that time will be thinking it's so much difficulty, it's next time it's this kind of what you call pain, everything I cannot go through. So that time, for time being, in the mind of that lady, the thought of vairagya will be very strong. So I don't want anything, it's like that. But after even few hours or within days only, we'll be having so much attachment with child, baby. And next time again, same, second child, third child, it's like that. This is prasuti vairagya, that time only. And another one is smashana vairagya. Smashana vairagya means when our near and dear one will pass away, or our family members, like that. When we see that, our mind will be filled with full of sorrow, and the time if person will be started thinking, this, all these things are temporary, I have seen this person from my childhood onwards, see now what kind of fate, he could not even get a little bit water from the hands of his own sons, what kind of terrible death, such kind of thoughts. And that person may be thinking, in our lives also, one day we have to give up everything. And when particularly that person will observe all the people how they are crying, weeping for the person departed soul, and when that person will attend that funeral, or when he will go to that what you call burial ground, etc. So that time when the person will be seeing all these things, and he may be thinking, is one day we have to give up everything, one day our body also will be like this only, become ashes only. So why we should have all these kinds of what you call desires and so many kinds of hesitations in our mind? Why cutthroat kind of competition in this world? Why should I do all these things? For some time, that person's mind will be filled with completely Tattvika Chintana, means he will be thinking of spiritual kind of thoughts will be there in his mind. He will be thinking about higher kind of thing. So why Bhagavan created us like this, birth and death. So all these things are so temporary, so ephemeral. That person for few days will be having such kind of thoughts. For some people, few hours only. For some people, if they'll take more serious, they will be thinking about what is this birth, what is this death, what will happen after death, who is dying here, that body is here. We are seeing as though that person is just sleeping like that. But what is not there in this body? So if that person will be thinking like this, and if he will continue those thoughts and he will take up the inquiry into truth permanently, that is a good sign of seeker, and that is real vairagya. But smashana vairagya means just by seeing all these kind of things, death, etc., for some time that person's mind will be filled with thoughts of renunciation. But afterwards, what will happen? Again, the entire vyavahara, all transactions will be there. His mind again will be pulled towards the world. Again, that work, this work, I have to meet that person, I have to earn money, I have to take care of this one, that. So many kinds of things, I have to enjoy this one. All thoughts will arise. This is called smashana vairagya, for temporary, for time, for some time, because of seeing sorrowful kinds of things. And another kind of thing, vairagya will be towards the objects or persons. Those are not available. You might have heard that grapes, if it is not available, then we think that is not tasty at all. That is only it's not available, that's why having that vairagya. If it is available, the person will be ready to enjoy that. So these kind of things, apparent kind of vairagya, temporary kind of thing. If someone is the person has decided to renounce everything just by reading few books, just by inspired for some time, inspired by other great Mahatmas, those who are leading the life of renunciation, sannyasa dharma, those who are following. Sometimes what will happen in young age, the person may be thinking, oh, yeah, this is wonderful life. Why should I waste my life in the world? So let me take up this path, and I also will follow this kind of wonderful path. By reading few books or life histories of few Mahatmas, are inspired by seeing some Mahatma. If that person really did not have detachment, then even though the person is having the desire to get moksha, but what will happen on the halfway of this spiritual journey? Sharks, crocodiles are waiting to catch hold of that person and make him drown into the ocean of samsara. So when desires will arise in the mind of seeker, if he is not alert enough, if he is not having complete vairagya with viveka, then he will fall. That's why Shankaracharyaji is saying, mercilessly, without any kindness, the crocodile will kill that person. Crocodile, the desire. Here, killing means it's not a physical kind of death. That person will fall from the higher path. Next sloka, sloka number 8. Please repeat after me. Vishayakyagraho yena, Vishayakyagraho yena, Suviratyasinahataha, Suviratyasinahataha, Sagacchati bhavambodehe, Sagacchati bhavambodehe, Param pratyuhavarjitaha, Param pratyuhavarjitaha. Vishayakya grahaha, the crocodile, that which is sense objects, Vishayakya. Here Vishayakya, these sense objects compared with crocodile. Yena, by which, Suviratya asina hataha, After listening earlier sloka, whatever said in earlier sloka, that person may be thinking, is it possible for anyone having complete detachment and attaining liberation, because desire is also so powerful? Then the solution has been given in this sloka. Vishayas are like crocodile, desires are like crocodiles only, but ena suviratya asina hataham. By whom? By whom means by that seeker. Suviratya asina. Asina means by the sword. Hataha means killing. Suviratya. Suviratya means with complete detachment, dispassion. In terms of Bhagavad Gita, it is said, asanga shestrena drudhena chitva. With complete that detachment of the sword, cut asunder all kinds of bondages, attachments. Sahagachati, those who did this one, those who are having powerful weapon in his hands. What is powerful weapon? Weapon, that sword. What is that weapon? Dispassion, detachment. See, in Vairagya, in detachment, there is no even trace of kindness. Why? Because if that person is showing even little bit concern, or that person is even expressing also even little bit kindness, then what will happen? These Vishayas will occupy the entire thing, means Vishayas will occupy the entire mind, and afterwards they will become boss and they will make the seeker as slave. It is like if we give little bit space to sit, that person afterwards he will just get this, even for sleeping also we have to completely come out from that seat. Sometimes it will happen. So these sense objects also very powerful. Even if we will be thinking, okay, yes, what is there? This is simple desire only. Is what is there? This is simple enjoyment only. A little bit if we drink, what is there? So once in a while, if we, you understood, I think. If we explore what is there. If once we will watch what is there, if once we will enjoy what is there, if we think like that, then what will happen afterwards? Those things will become so terrible monsters like that, and they will force us to go through such experience again and again, again and again. If once the person will be under their clutches completely, then how much the person may be strong, that person may be having willpower, everything. Afterwards, very difficult for that person to come out from such kind of things. How many examples in so many people's life themselves spoiling like anything, addicted to so many kind of things. Not having this sword in the hands, that is the reason. If we are having sword in the hand, even that's why it is said, nip in the bird. If a wrong kind of thing is there, just remove it. No, why should we do this? We should have kindness and no means no. Seeker, sadhaka, he should have guts to say no for sense pleasures. If we are little bit even soft also, that time gone. Sometimes entire life also is not enough to correct ourselves. Very powerful, very powerful. Even though we are so alert, sometimes how they will enter into our mind and how external means surroundings will be changed. One thought will spoil entire life. One negative thought. One positive thought will lead to higher state of realization. One thought will spoil the person. One good thought means one bad thought will spoil the person. One good thought will give permanent happiness to that person. One bad thought will kill the person. One good thought will give life to the person. So we should be very alert with sense objects. Sa gacchati bhavambodehe param pratyuha varjitaha. One who has killed the powerful crocodile of desire, sense objects, by his sword of detachment, saha, that person, gacchati, he goes, bhava ambodehe param, he will reach the another shore of ocean of samsara. He will cross over the ocean of samsara. That too, pratyuha varjitaha. Pratyuha means obstructions, means obstacles. That person will reach another shore of samsara without any obstacles. Pratyuha varjitaha. Varjitaha means without. So all of us also should have weapon in our hands. Sometimes, even though the entire world will be thinking we are heartless, so katina. Katinya means very rude, very hard. But to protect our spiritual strength, to protect ourselves from the sense objects, we should say no. That too, if we can communicate in well-mannered, it's good. If those sense objects are so powerful, then strong no also is required. See, for example, a few people, bad people are there, but they also became friends. When they are having all bad habits, they themselves already spoiled their lives. They come and call another person and saying, okay, you come and join with us. Let us go for a party and enjoy, drink and smoke everything. You eat all these kind of things. This person, he born and brought up in such kind of atmosphere. He could not even tolerate such kind of place where they have taken. That time, what should be done? See, when they called, no, I cannot come. It's a simple way. It's I cannot come. Please don't force me. Please don't compel me. It's like, if they are not listening and they have dragged that person and they have taken that person and make him sit there and they kept everything in front of that person, then what should be done? And they go on saying, Ray, you don't know how to enjoy this life. They use such kind of words also. Don't ask me, Amma, how you came to know. Okay. Because we are in this world, no? So this is, you have to at least once in life, you have to taste it, right? You will see the heavens, Swarga here itself. So they go on saying, this is good, that is good, you have to do this one, that one. If you are not enjoying all these things, right, your life itself is waste. Right. Another thing, if you are not able to pay the bill, no problem. So we are here for you. So we will pay the bill. Whatever you want, you can enjoy. In the beginning only. If he is not strong enough, then what will happen afterwards? He will become slave to all those things and he will be calling other people, and afterwards every day he has to pay the bill and everything spoiled. Because of one person, how many people will suffer? Parents, if after marriage, wife, children, surrounding people also. So many problems will be created. Yes. If sadhaka is there, what should be done? First of all, he has to avoid such kind of friendship. That is one thing. And with force, if they have taken that person there and gone saying all these things, they do that one. That time, that person, when he expressed softly, he said, no, I don't want. Please understand this, I don't. If they are not understanding that kind of word, then he should be very firm. See, we are taking this one example, and it is applicable for all other kinds of things also. Not only objects, for few kinds of relationships also. Sometimes we have to give up so many kinds of things for the sake of higher thing. Doesn't mind. If those are not helpful for the sadhana, what is the use of them? So that time the seeker of truth, the sadhaka, he should say firm no. If you force me like this, next time onwards, even I will not speak to all of you. Okay. Please don't force. I'm very serious about it. I am leaving this place. If really you want be as my friend, first you give up all these things, then come to me. Sometimes it's required. If he will not do that day, that moment, afterwards, so many years, that person is good-hearted, noble person. He had so many dreams in life to achieve. Because of such kind of negative kind of company, since objects are so powerful, once he will give room to them, after so many years also, that person will be thinking, why I became like this? Why I became like this? Entire personality spoiled. No respect from others. Financial problems. No dignity at all. That person, even after realizing his state, such kind of state, but difficult to come out from that. Why I became like that? I don't want all these things. I want to give up, but I can't. Sadhaka should not reach such kind of state. And when it comes to relationships, see here Suvirakti Asina word is used. That's why we are emphasizing this point. And a little bit harsh words also we are using. Shankaracharyaji is using a sword, weapon. Asina, with the sword just when it comes to relationships, even in Shastras also it is said that relationship may be any kind of thing. Parents or children, friends, husband or wife, anyone, if they are not supporting to have devotion for Bhagwan, to know about Bhagwan, then it is said such kind of person, the father, one who is not telling about the Bhagwan and not helping the person to walk in that path of devotion or path of knowledge, he is not considered as father at all. Guru, if the person really, sincerely, if he is not imparting the knowledge to the disciple to make him walk into the path of spirituality, such person, such kind of person, even maybe title will be there, called as a teacher, but he is not considered as a real teacher. Even husband, if the person is not allowing the lady to know about Bhagwan, he is not considered as good husband. All these points said in scriptures, because father, mother, teacher, husband, even as a wife, friends, all these people also, they should help the person, one who is having the desire to get liberation. That's why those who wants to get liberation, seriously, they will be ready to give up anything in this world. Who can stop? Gautama Buddha, when he decided, he left palace, he left wife, child, father, he left everything. It doesn't mean after listening all these things, you will give up everything and go somewhere. That's not the meaning. Please understand inner meaning. When the Gautam Buddha, he came back, and he came back means after his realization, when he was preaching to all people about what he realized about the truth. And when he came back to his own city, that kingdom, he was begging. His father could not tolerate at all. That Rajakumara is the king of this kingdom. He became like beggar and is going to house and begging for little bit food. He saw that one and he could not bear that. He sent few people, and Gautam Buddha, he did not listen. And father himself said, he thought that one is a begging bowl. Is why you became like that? Are you mad or what? Your wife and son, they are waiting for you. Give up everything and leave all these people, come to palace. But he could not understand the state of Gautam Buddha. Gautam Buddha said, who is father, who is son? Whose kingdom is this? Please think, in this life, the particular form of that body is having relationship with the particular kind of form of body. Calling as father, son, wife, children. In earlier life, where were you? What kind of relationship between us? And kingdom, our kingdoms go on saying is whose kingdom? Few years back, who were the king here? And after a few years, who is going to rule this kingdom? Which is the appointment. He said, I can't come back. Then afterwards, the father realized, of course, Gautam Buddha's wife, very, we can say, great personality, great person. She understood the greatness and glory of the path followed by Gautam Buddha, and she sent her son. See that one sannyasi is there, is begging there along with so many people he was walking. She has shown means that person, and she said, he is your father. You are having right to get his wealth from him. As son, you have that right. So you can go to him and ask him what he can give to you. She was very intelligent. That boy, little boy, Rohit, he went there and did namaskar, and he said, I'm your son. My mother told me, what can you give to me? Because I'm son, I have to get your wealth. After you, I have to get it. So you can give to me. Then what he did, Gautam Buddha? What he has, he can give, no? He gave that begging bowl. And he said a few words of wisdom. And he said, see, I did not get this kingdom from my father. What I got from Bhagwan, what I received, I am giving to you. This is the permanent. Never changes. It will not change at all. And he said, this is the real wealth. That is a real wealth. Daivi Sampada. So he said, I am handing over to you. Means I am giving to you. He came back, and afterwards, that wife of Gautama Buddha, she renounced everything and she has taken up that path. Why we are talking about all these things? These are few examples that virakta bhava, we don't know when the divine call will come, when the person will take such kind of determined kind of decision in his life. Nothing will stop here in that. But after taking up that path also should be very careful, because Maya is so powerful, sense objects are very powerful. Be alert, be careful. And that's why we required all the time Bhagwan's Guru Parampara blessings, grace, and Swadhyaya should be there, Satsanga should be there. Sahagacchati bhavambodehe param pratyuha varjitaha. Such kind of person, one who has cut asunder the all kinds of attachments, such person only can attain moksha sthiti. He can cross over the ocean of samsara without any difficulties, without any obstacles, obstructions. We will see next sloka tomorrow. Think about what is vairagya in our life, how we can apply it, where it is required. People will think those who are having vairagya bhava, they will be all the time moody, they can't enjoy anything, and they will be putting long face, they will not even smile also. People will be thinking like that. Please understand, vairagya doesn't mean like that. When the person is having real vairagya, that person may be in the palace or that person may be in the forest, but when he is detached from all kinds of attachments, his mind will be reveling in Brahma Tattva. But in the beginning stages, really it is required. Externally also, we have to renounce. Those are obstacles in our path. After realization, doesn't matter. That person may be yogarato va bhogarato va sangarato va sangavihinaha yasya brahmani ramate chittaha nandati nandati nandatyeva. That person may be wherever, with people or without people. He may be yogi or he may be bhogi, appearing as bhogi, but whose mind is reveling in Brahma Tattva, always happiness only. But in the beginning stages, for all of us, this vairagya bhava is very, very important. We have to be very careful, alert. Boliye Sri Sadgurunath Maharaj ki jai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Sri Gurubhyo Namah. Harihi Om. విషయాలు విషయం కంటే చాలా ప్రమాదకరమైనవి కాబట్టి ఆధ్యాత్మిక సాధకుడు విషయాలని అనుభవించాలి అన్నటువంటి ఆలోచనని మనసులోనికి రానివ్వకూడదు. కేవలం శరీరాన్ని నిలుపుకోవడానికి మాత్రమే, అవసరాలకి తగినటువంటి వాటిని మాత్రమే ఉపయోగించాల్సి ఉంటుంది. ఆపాత వైరాగ్యం కలిగి ఉన్నటువంటి వారు, ఆపాత వైరాగ్యము అంటే తాత్కాలికంగా కలిగేటువంటి వైరాగ్యము. ఆపాత వైరాగ్యం అంటే బయటికి చూడ్డానికి వైరాగ్యంగా ఉంటుంది, కానీ లోపల మాత్రం నిజమైన వైరాగ్యము ఉండదన్నమాట. బయటికి ఏమి తీసుకున్నట్లుగా అనుభవించినట్లుగా ఉంటుంది, కానీ లోపల మాత్రం అది తింటే బాగుండా, అది చూస్తే బాగుండా, ఇది వింటే బాగుండు. ఇది ఆపాత వైరాగ్యం. ఆపాత వైరాగ్యం ఉన్నటువంటి వాళ్ళు మోక్షం కావాలని కోరుకొని ఆధ్యాత్మిక సాధనలు మొదలుపెట్టి ఈ మార్గంలో నడుస్తూ ఉన్నప్పటికీ కూడా ఆశ అనేటువంటి మొసలి చాలా భయంకరమైనటువంటిది. ఇటువంటి ముముక్షువుల్ని దారి మధ్యలోనే, ఈ సంసార సాగరము దాటక ముందే దారి మధ్యలోని వాళ్ళ గొంతులు పట్టుకొని మరీ వెంటనే వెనక్కి ఈడ్చేసి వాటిని వాళ్ళందరినీ ముంచేయడం కూడా జరుగుతుంది అంటున్నారు. ఒక్కసారి ముసలి పట్టు అని అంటారు కదా, ఒక్కసారి పట్టుకున్నంటే అది వదిలిపెట్ట. అందులోనూ ఇంకా సముద్రం పెద్ద పెద్ద ఈ తిమింగలాలు అవన్నీ ఉంటాయి. స్వాహా మింగేయడమే అనమాట. కనీసము వ్యక్తి ఒకవేళ వాటి కడుపు లోపలికి వెళ్తే బయటకు వచ్చే అవకాశం ఉందేమో బహుశా. కానీ ఆశ అనేటువంటి దాని చేత మింగబడినట్లయితే బయటికి రావడము చాలా కష్టం అన్నమాట. ఒక్కొక్కసారి మనిషిని ఎంత దిగజారుస్తాయంటే ఈ విషయ వస్తువులు, ఆ విషయ సుఖాలు అన్నటువంటివి. వ్యక్తి తన ఔన్నత్యాన్ని కోల్పోతాడు, తనకున్న గౌరవాన్ని కోల్పోతాడు, విలువని కోల్పోతాడు, అన్ని విధాలుగా నష్టపోవడము జరుగుతుందన్నమాట. ప్రారంభ దశల్లో ఈ విషయాలు, విషయ సుఖాలు ఏదో చిన్నగా కనిపిస్తాయి. అది ఏముందిలే, ఒక్కసారికి తింటే ఒక్కసారి తాగితే అన్నట్లుగా ఉంటాయి. కానీ తరువాత ఎంత భయంకరమైన స్థితిని కల్పిస్తాయి అంటే ఆ వ్యక్తి పూర్తిగా బానిసైపోయి తను బయటికి రావాలనుకున్నా రాలేనటువంటి పరిస్థితి ఏర్పడుతుంది. శరీరం పూర్తిగా పాడైపోతుంది, ఆరోగ్యాలు పాడైపోతాయి, ఆర్థికంగా ఇబ్బందులు కలుగుతాయి, సమాజంలో ఏ విధమైనటువంటి గౌరవ స్థానము కూడా ఉండదు. తనతో పాటు తన చుట్టుపక్కల వాళ్ళందరూ కూడా బాధలు పడాల్సి వస్తుంది. ఇంకా ఆధ్యాత్మిక సాధకుని ఈ విషయానికి వచ్చేసరికి పతనమే, ఉన్నతంగా ఎదిగే అవకాశమే ఉండదు. అందుకోసమని ఈ విషయ వస్తువులతో, విషయ సుఖాలతో చాలా జాగ్రత్తగా ఉండాలని చెప్తున్నారు. లేకపోతే ఆ దారి మధ్యలోనే, మార్గ మధ్యలోనే ఆ సంసార సాగరంలో మునిగిపోవడము జరుగుతుంది. ఎవరైతే చాలా శక్తివంతమైనటువంటి వైరాగ్యము అనేటువంటి ఖడ్గాన్ని కలిగి ఉంటారు, కత్తి కూడా కాదు, ఖడ్గం. ఆధ్యాత్మిక సాధకుడు ఎలా ఉండాలంటే ఎప్పుడు ఒక సైనికుడు లాగా ఉండాలన్నమాట. సైనికుడు ఏ విధంగా ఎప్పుడు కూడా శత్రువుతో యుద్ధం చేయడానికి సన్నద్ధుడై ఉంటాడు, ఆధ్యాత్మిక సాధకుడు కూడా అరిషద్ వర్గంతో యుద్ధం చేయడానికి ఎప్పుడు సన్నద్ధుడై ఉండాలన్నమాట. అసంగ శస్త్రేణ దృఢేన చిత్వ అని భగవద్గీతలో శ్రీకృష్ణ పరమాత్మ చెప్పినట్లుగా ఇక్కడ కూడా ఆదిశంకరాచార్యుల వారు ఎవరైతే ఈ సువిరక్తి అన్నటువంటి ఖడ్గముతో విషయాఖ్యగ్రహ, ఈ ఆశ అనేటువంటి విషయ సుఖాలు అనేటువంటి ముసల్ని వధిస్తారో అటువంటి వ్యక్తి మాత్రమే ఈ భవ అంబుదిని దాటి అవతలి తీరాన్ని క్షేమంగా ఏ విధమైనటువంటి ఆటంకాలు, అడ్డంకులు లేకుండా చేరుకోగలుగుతారు అని చెప్తున్నారు. ఇది చాలా ముఖ్యమైన విషయము. చాలా మంది ఎన్నిసార్లు వింటూ ఉన్నా, ఎన్ని శాస్త్రాలు చదివినా, ఎన్ని సాధనలు చేస్తున్నా ఎందుకు మోక్షం లభించట్లేదు, ఎందుకు మోక్షం లభించట్లేదంటే కారణం ఇదే. అంటే మనం అందరం వెంటనే 100% పర్ఫెక్ట్ అయిపోతామని కాదు, నెమ్మదిగా సాధన చేస్తూ చేస్తూ చాలా శక్తివంతమైనటువంటి ఆయుధము తయారు చేయాల్సింది. ఏంటి అదంటే సంపూర్ణమైనటువంటి వైరాగ్యం. మాటల్లో చెప్పినంత సులభమేం కాదు. విషయ వస్తువుల్ని, సుఖాన్ని వదిలిపెట్టడము, అవి వచ్చినప్పుడు వాటి వైపు కూడా చూడకుండా ఉండగలిగేటువంటి శక్తి రావటము అంత సులభం కాదు. ఎంతో మంది ఎన్నో సార్లు ఉన్నత స్థాయి నుంచి కూడా కింద పడిపోయినటువంటి వాళ్ళు ఉన్నారు. అయితే ఏంటంటే సాధకుడు తను సంపూర్ణంగా నాకు ఇంకా మోక్షం తప్ప ఇంకేది వద్దు అనుకున్నట్లయితే, సంపూర్ణ వైరాగ్య భావం కలిగి ఉన్నట్లయితే తప్పకుండా మోక్షము లభిస్తుంది. విషయ వస్తువులు, విషయ సుఖాలు ఆ వ్యక్తిని ఏ విధంగా కూడా ఇబ్బంది పెట్టవు. విషయ సుఖాలకి, విషయ వస్తువులకి ప్రారంభ దశలోనే నో చెప్పగలగాలి. కాదంటే కాదు, వద్దంటే వద్దు. ఏమన్నా కానీ, ఏమన్నా పోనీ, ఎవరన్నా ఉండనివ్వండి, ఎవరన్నా పోనివ్వండి, మన జీవితంలో ఎవరన్నా రానివ్వండి, పోనివ్వండి, ఏ వస్తువులన్నా ఉండనివ్వండి, ఏ వస్తువులన్నా పోనివ్వండి, కానీ లక్ష్యం మీద గురి ఉండాలి. మహా అయితే ఏమవుతుంది, ప్రాణం పోయేనా, పోనీగాక సత్యం తెలుసుకుంటే చాలు. ఒక సత్యాన్వేషికి ఎటువంటి పట్టుదల ఉండాలంటే, ఒక వ్యక్తి ప్రాణం పోయే దశలో ఉన్నప్పుడు తన ప్రాణాన్ని కాపాడుకోవడానికి ఎంత సాయశక్తుల ప్రయత్నం చేస్తాడో, సత్యాన్వేషి సత్యం తెలుసుకోవడం కోసం అటువంటి ప్రయత్నం చేస్తూ ప్రాణం వదలాల్సి వచ్చిన సిద్ధంగా ఉంటాడు. సాధన మన జీవితాల్లో వేటి పట్ల మనకి వైరాగ్యం ఉండాలన్నటువంటిది గుర్తించి సంపూర్ణ వైరాగ్య భావంతో మోక్ష స్థితిని పొందాల్సి. లేకపోతే గుర్తు తెచ్చుకోవాలి ఏంటి, క్రొకడైల్ మొసళ్ళు రెడీగా ఉన్నాయన్నమాట. అమ్మాయి ఆ ముసలే బాబోయ్ వద్దు బాబోయ్ వద్దనుకుంటే పూలమాలతో ఆహ్వానించడానికి కూడా రెడీగా ఉన్నారు. కాబట్టి మనం ఆ మార్గంలో వెళ్ళొచ్చు అన్నమాట. ఆనందంగా ఈ భవసాగరాన్ని భగవన్నామస్మరణ చేసుకుంటూ రామ 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 కృష్ణ 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 శివ 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 భగవన్నామస్మరణ చేసుకుంటూ ఏ ముసళ్ళు ఏమి చేయలేవు, అసలు మన వైపు కూడా చూడలేవు అనమాట. భగవన్నామస్మరణ ఉంటే హాయిగా సంసార సాగరాన్ని దాటి అవతలి తీరాన్ని చేరుకోవచ్చు అన్నమాట. సో మనకు రక్ష ఏంటి, శ్రీరామ రక్ష, భగవన్నామ స్మరణ, గురువుల యొక్క ఆశీర్వాదం. సో మనకేం భయం లేదు. ఒకవేళ ఎప్పుడన్నా పడబోతూ ఉన్నా ఆ ముసలి నోటి వరకు వెళ్ళి ఉన్నా కూడా వెంటనే వెనక్కి తీసుకురావడానికి వెనకాల భగవంతుడు ఉన్నారు. ఏ విధంగా అయితే భాగవతంలో శ్రీకృష్ణుల వారు అందరు గోపబాలతో అరణ్యానికి వెళ్ళినప్పుడు ఆ పెద్ద పాము వచ్చేసి అందరినీ మింగడానికి రెడీగా ఉంటుంది కదా, వాళ్ళందరూ ఏమనుకుంటారంటే ఆ నాలుక చాచుంటే ఆహా ఇది కొండచిలో ఆ పాము అన్నది తెలియక ఇదేదో మంచి తివాచి పరిచినట్లుగా ఉంది, ఎంత మెత్తగా, అందరు పాపం లోపలికి వెళ్ళిపోతారన్నమాట. కృష్ణుల వారు అందరినీ కూడా రక్షించడము జరుగుతుంది. సో మనం భగవంతుని గురువుని నమ్ముకొని ఉంటే తప్పకుండా వాళ్ళు మనల్ని రక్షిస్తారు. మనం కూడా మన సంపూర్ణ ప్రయత్నము సాధన చేయాల్సి ఉంటుంది. ఓం శాంతి శాంతి శాంతి. హరి ఓం. శ్రీ గురుభ్యో నమః. హరి ఓం.